For the next threshold concept, I'm going to be discussing how writing is rhetorically situated. So obviously the kind of main focus of this course, Intro to Rhetoric and Composition, was about rhetoric. And I have my daybook here, and I'm just looking back to the first day of class when the professor had us, write down what our definition of rhetoric was. Here I wrote down that rhetoric was language choice and attitude with a question mark, because I wasn't really sure. I mean, I kind of had an idea, but I feel like at least in high school I was never really taught about it. Maybe I had it as like a vocab term one time, but I never really was taught about it in depth like I was in this class. I have the definition that she put on the board, and it's not far off from that. The basic function of rhetoric is to use words by people to form attitudes or to entice. So that's, pretty much the thing. I have rhetoric as choice, but I think throughout the course we learned that rhetoric is much more than just a definition. That's a good starting point, obviously, but we also learned how to analyze rhetoric on many different platforms, not just in writing. So obviously you have ethos, logos, pathos. Those are common forms of rhetorical strategies used in writing and speech, which, yes, relate to rhetoric. Of course, we learned how to use those and implement those as well. But we also learned how to analyze, different, I don't want to say things, but different things from like popular culture or things all around us for rhetoric. For instance, we analyzed an advertisement here for, I believe it was like a fast food, like their new like meal option. And they use, people that looked like they were stoners, that might have the munchies, that might want some snacks, and we kind of analyzed it and wrote down all the things. What audience were they looking to reach out to, and how were they doing that without specifically saying it? And we learned that that is rhetoric. You don't have to explicitly say something, it's all about choice. And then in connection to that, we read about visual literacies and how that's also rhetoric, about placement of images. The picture that's right in the middle of the page, that's going to get the most attention. So whatever you're putting in the middle of the page, that's your rhetorical choice. You want people to focus more on that. So I think this threshold concept was talked about in many different aspects throughout the course. And I think what I learned most from it is that, once again, rhetoric is not just writing. Of course, the threshold concept is writing is rhetorical, but I think we also learned that writing can also not be writing, if that makes any sense. Like I said, through the advertisements, through pictures, rhetoric is a choice, and I think that this concept exemplifies that.